The main things is when I think of June, I'm mainly thinking about post-spawn fish, okay? Because the temperatures are really starting to climb up. The boat traffic's really starting to climb up. So things can get very difficult. And this may sound familiar, you know, you get there early in the morning, the bite's crazy good, you catch fish, you catch a lot of fish, and then all of a sudden, just around 11 o'clock, it's just dead. Well, there's a lot of things happening within that time. There's a lot of things you can do to catch those fish. So one of the first things we're gonna start out with is fishing your lake system. So your typical lake, whether that's a highland reservoir or, you know, just a normal lake system, I'm typically gonna be focusing on those fish that are feeding on shad. One of the ways that I do that is a super sneaky bait that we used to use when I was a kid, and it's very productive on lakes, and I do not understand why I don't hear anybody talking about it, which I'm kind of glad that they don't. So if you hear, you're kind of going to get a little bit of juice. But either way, that's a heading torpedo, okay? This is the junior version, the smaller one, or baby torpedo is what they call it. But, you know, it's a smaller one. If you notice, I got a feather hook on the back. So the way the torpedoes come, they come with a hook already put on there. What I actually do on the back one, this clear one, now I use the clear one for a specific reason. The shad spawn shad, they're not very big. We're dealing with threadfin shad, so you know that can be kind of an issue using baits that, you know, doesn't really match. You can't really match the hash. The baits are typically way too big. This is when people get on them, I can't get them to bite, I threw on top of them, blah blah blah. You're typically using a bait that, you know, just doesn't mimic those shad very well, because this time of year those fish get really honed in on what they're eating, so you really got to match that. But I'll actually buy the clear version, and what I do is I'll cut that back hook off, put a split ring on it, and I'll put a feathered treble hook. This feathered treble hook with that red band on there, it's got a little bit of green in it, that white and stuff, puts out a lot of contrast in the water. You know, it just looks like a little shad scurrying across the surface. Now using this is super simple. You just popping it. So all you're doing is just popping it, just like you're working a popper kind of. What I like to do, I like doing like 3 quick snaps, let it sit for a second. And when I say a second, I mean literally just 1 second. I'm moving this thing really fast. I don't want them to get a good look at it. I just want them to say, oh, there's something to eat, and they just react to it. So using that power fishing attitude. But you know, the head and baby torpedo, hard to beat, whether you're fishing a pond, whether you're fishing a lake, whether you're fishing a river system. The bite gets tough on top water. They're missing, you know, your walking baits, your poppers and stuff like that. A lot of times the torpedo is a sneaky way to get in there and catch a lot of fish that you wouldn't have caught before.